कितने राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यूज होते हैं बिफोर आई गेट द फाइनल जॉब ऑफर इन कैंपस? अगर एक ही दिन में 4 इंटरव्यू शेड्यूल हो गए, सो व्हाट हैज टू बी डन देयर? What if I accepts an offer and later just moves out of it? What are the repercussions of it? There are so many questions for all the newly qualified chartered accountants who are about to appear for their campus. Good morning, everyone. This is CA Chandan Jhavar working with BNP Paribas Bank and have witnessed more than 5+ campus and have mentored almost 500 plus newly qualified chartered accountants for their jobs, for their interviews, is right here with none other than C. Smith Janser, who is working with Deloitte and is an L3 CFA candidate. And we both are here to enlighten all of you for the upcoming campus to be appearing in December. How have you been, Smith sir?
All good. I think a tiring day for all of us, but I think campus is happening. Everyone's excited, and let's make sure that we give some insights to our participants and our people who watch the video and make sure that they get something for their journey into campus.
Great, great. And I'm very sure with the kind of knowledge and the kind of preparation that you always go in all the sessions, I am very sure that a lot of learning is right there in this video. Smith, if I have to talk about my campus in particular, back in 2023, that was a COVID era, of course, and a very virtual, campus. Interviews were being scheduled online. कब क्या होता है, कभी कभी तो Zoom के link भी नहीं आती थी and we couldn't reach to HR and there were so many ifs and buts. But as and when हम जब उस कोविड से बाहर निकले, the same campus started running offline, where a lot of newly qualified CAs happened to come to different cities for this campus thing. And इसमें प्रॉब्लम ये हो गई कि जब हमारा टाइम था 23 में, तब तो वैकेंसीज भी बहुत हुआ करती थी, कंपनीज भी बहुत हुआ करती थी. बट स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली जैसे जैसे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स बनते गए, बढ़ते गए, तो काउंट, नो डाउट कंपनीज का आज भी बढ़ रहा है इन द आईसीआई कैंपस, बट द वैकेंसीज, द क्वालिटी ऑफ रोल्स आर गेटिंग डिमिनिश्ड with each passing campus. If we have to talk about stats, no, roughly on an average, 2,500 to 2,600 chartered accountants out of what 11,000 to 12,000 odd on an average. हर एक अटे में जो क्लियर हो रहे हैं, सिर्फ 2,000 से 2,500 ही चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स प्लेस्ड हो रहे हैं कैंपस में. एंड इट इज नॉट जस्ट द एंड. 2,500 भी जो अगर प्लेस हो रहे हैं, उसमें से आई थिंक हार्डली 1,500 से 2,000 के बीच में सीएस होते हैं जो कैंपस वाली जॉब को ऑफर लेकर आगे बढ़ते हैं अपने करियर में. Because there are a lot of other things going on in their mind as well. So, Smith, I think it would be great if you can also throw some light on your experience of the campus and how did it go and how did you find your job in which you have spent nearly an year or maybe above an year now. Over to you, Smith.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, CA Chandan sir. And let's to break it down the entire way how we're gonna go about it. First, it is very important to understand why campus is an important thing at this point of time for people who have qualified the September attempt and for people who didn't sit in the earlier campus and are appearing for this campus. Secondly, it is very important to understand what are the important things that you need to keep in your mind when you go through the campus journey. And lastly, I'll definitely share my experience. And there is a bonus tip for everyone who's going to stay till the end of the video. So let's make sure we dive into this. First, why campus is important. Let's throw some stats, and it is very important to understand a few facts as well. Companies pay money to be a part of the campus. If a company is paying 10 to 12 lakh rupees or 8 lakh rupees to be on the premier day or on day two, they would want to hire good quality candidates that can actually justify the cost. अगर मैं एक कंपनी 10 लोग को हायर कर, आई वांट टू मेक श्योर दैट दीज 10 people justify the 8 to 10 lakhs or 7 lakhs which I've paid for the campus. Second, campus ka process is very fast. You give your interviews on first day and you get your job by the end of the day, or you get a response at least by the next day. This is very important. Off campus, things are very different. You give an interview, you get a call after a week, you sit for the interview after 2 weeks, and then maybe you get a call, or the company has rolled out the vacancy, or the company has taken back the vacancy, you don't know anything. So there is a lot of clarity in campus. Third, it is very important to understand we are in the fag end of December. We have started with December and the fag end of the year. इस टाइम पर कंपनीज जनरली हायर नहीं करती because every company would want to hire at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of financial year or at the time of attrition when there is a budget allocated. But here Things are at the end of the year. Multinational companies are on a big Christmas break of 10 to 15 days. So it is very important to understand that campus can be the only source where you can get the companies, and every company will be at the right spot. And owing to the fact, as Chandan already mentioned, that the number of companies are increasing, but the roles are decreasing or diminishing. That means that the company want few candidates, but are quality candidates. So that, but the companies are coming to campus. Matlab, they do believe that campus is going to give them the right candidates. Owing to all these facts, last thing it is very important to understand: campus is the best networking opportunity for anyone out there. When you meet a group of people who are like you, who are applying for jobs like you, definitely someone is going to get placed and will share that HR mail ID or that contact number that can actually change your life. So campus is very important at this point of time. And let's make sure, again, I am going to give you 10 tips or 10 feedback points which I received and I believe over the years have helped me. And as I mentioned, a bonus tip for all and the experience at the end. Just dive into the first tip. First, it is very important to know that the first 3 days of campus are gold. Because if you go to the first 3 days of campus, all the good companies, when I say good companies, I mean companies who have good roles and who offer premium packages, hire generally on the first and second day. Companies are paying extra money to come on the first day. Understand that. So all the big companies, all the companies which have different roles come on the first day. So it is very important to arrive early. Your campus will start around 9:30, 10. Arrive at 8. Look at the companies, where are they getting placed. Map याद हो जाना चाहिए कि कौन सी कंपनी किस फ्लोर पे बैठ रही है, कौन सी कंपनी का एचआर का नाम क्या है, वो सब एक लिस्ट में अवेलेबल होता है ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे, जनरली जहां भी कैंपस होगा. सो यू हैव टू मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ इट, यू हैव टू कीप इट इन योर माइंड. But then, sir, some people would say, I have only been shortlisted for 3 companies. Why should I remember everything? Because there is something called as walk-in interviews that
Yes,
happens
sir.
anytime at any point of the day. And you have to be prepared for it. And if you don't know which company is coming, where is the company sitting, how would you appear for the off-campus or walk-in interviews that actually happen? So this is very important. Second, make sure that you're connected to the peers and groups. I have done this many times and I do it every time whenever I talk to other people. Try to create a group. For example, I got a shortlisting from ICICI Bank. Let's create a group ICICI Bank, and I'll make sure that everyone who got that opportunity comes into that group. What happens is, जब सब एक ग्रुप में आते हैं, कुछ थोड़ा सा भी अगर अपडेट या हलचल होती है आपको पहले पता चलती है, एज कम्पेयर टू फिगरिंग इट आउट योर सेल्फ ऑन डे. Just think about it. 20 to 30 companies are on campus. सब में कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा होगा. How would you get to know? These groups are a primary thing. Because जिसको ऑफर मिला वो पहले पूछेगा कि और किसी को ऑफर मिला. जिसका इंटरव्यू हो वो पहले पूछेगा और किसी का इंटरव्यू हुआ. एंड दैट्स व्हेन यू गेट टू नो दैट उधर उधर इंटरव्यू हो रहा है, उधर ऑफर रोल आउट हो रहे हैं. सो इफ आई गो देयर आई कैन स्टैंड अ चांस. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Third, be very calculative of your timing. I know there are people who get into too much of that networking zone. Lunch होते ही जा रहा है, होते ही जा रहा है. It takes 1 hour, 2 hours. Too much of talking. Understand, networking is important, but it should not be at your own cost. Be very calculative. Interview है, 15 मिनट पहले isolation चाहिए तो चाहिए. 5 minutes पहले you're not talking to anyone. Keep your phone on silent. Make sure if you're having a lunch, take an early lunch. Or don't go for lunch. Take fruits with yourself. Carry that to the campus. Just have that, because you have to be very particular of your timing. I've seen people who enter the campus 2 minutes late and the interview tells them, okay, we have taken some other candidate and we're interviewing them. And then they get delayed. So very important to be calculative with the timing. Timing जानना बहुत जरूरी है. Fourth thing, please keep checking the campus portal. आई हैव सीन मेनी पीपल जिनको ऑफर आ जाता है और उनको रियलाइज नहीं होता उनको ऑफर आया और उनके पोर्टल पे ऑलरेडी लाई कर रहा होता है. मेक श्योर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू चेक द पोर्टल एंड यू सी कि ऑफर आया. कई बार होता है एचआर डोंट कॉन्टेक्ट यू इमीडिएटली, वो आईसीआई के थ्रू ही ऑफर आता है, एंड देन यू कैन गेट एन ऑफर बट यू डोंट नो दैट यू ऑलरेडी हैव एन ऑफर. प्लीज चेक योर पोर्टल फॉर ऑफर्स. Fifth point, there is an email ID called as cajob@ici.in, and there is a helpline number which also they have given. These are the official things that the campus has given. If you have any problem, please mail to them. I'd be very happy and grateful to say that these people reply very fast. I've seen people who have had a query, उन्होंने मेल किया, आधे घंटे के अंदर उनका रेजोल्यूशन और उनका इंटरव्यू कोई अगर स्केड्यूल नहीं हो रहा है तो हो चुका है, और they had some other issues that got solved. Where will these numbers be? These will be in the campus brochure. There is an email ID and there are these two helpline numbers. Make sure you try to connect to them irrespective of anything. Sixth, now comes the real issue where people say that multiple interviews ho gaye schedule at the same time. Now this is something which is very unfortunate. You should understand many people will face this situation. जब आपके पास 7-8 कंपनी शॉर्टलिस्टिंग होगी, डेफिनेटली एक या दो इंटरव्यू सेम टाइम पे स्केड्यूल होंगे. बट इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू हैव टू बी स्मार्ट एट दैट टाइम. See, going early is not a disadvantage. Going late is always a disadvantage. If the interviewer has already found his 3 candidates, the rest candidates are just doing the formality. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू गो अर्ली इन एनी इंटरव्यू. अगर आपको लग रहा है आपका इंटरव्यू 12:30 का स्लॉट खाली है, 12:10 को गो इनटू द इंटरव्यू एंड जस्ट बी लाइक, ओके सर, कैन आई कम इन? If allowed, that's great. If not, you can adjust the timing. You have to be
Perfect.
very smart. You have to contact people there. There are HRs on the floor. There are ground. You have to be very smart. कि हाँ, either 10 minutes or the 20 minutes. Think of this as a CA final paper. How would you schedule it, right? 3 घंटे को करते हो ना prepare. That's how you have to do it. Because ये interviews अगर same time पे schedule हो रहा है, and if you go an hour late, this will not look right on your side. Obviously, you might stand a chance to sit in the interview, but this won't look good for you, irrespective of any situation. This is very important. Seventh part. Sometimes it gets very chaotic in campuses. I think we all have seen those videos where it gets
Correct.
chaotic. When it
Correct.
gets chaotic, remember, it only gets chaotic at one or two spots, not the entire campus. So
Okay.
if there are 20 odd companies, and if there are two companies जहाँ पे सब chaotic situation हो गया है, be smart, go to other companies. वो खाली बैठे होंगे या उनके पास लोग कम होंगे. Think about it, right? It's a principle, right? कहीं तो खाली होगा. Make sure you go for walk-in. Be humble. Okay, sir. I think I see there is a slot here, and I'm actually interested in this company. You have to do some homework. What does the company do? What is the role about? You can gradually sit and give a walk-in interview while others are fighting there in the chaotic situation. So be very smart. There will be some place which is always empty because people always complain, sir, chaotic हो गया था. Chaotic कहीं हुआ है तो कहीं तो chaotic नहीं होगा ना. Let's make sure we give our attention to that. Next thing, it is very important to understand that all your documents, be it Aadhaar, your resume, your mark sheet, your confirmation mail, please have 10 to 12 copies of everything. I've seen people who get panicky at the last moment and they run to take photocopies and they miss out on a lot of time. Make sure you carry 10 to 12 copies. These are all documents which will be useful at some point in life. So definitely taking
Mhm.
extra copies won't actually create a big problem for you. Next thing, I always talk about this, and this is something which is close to everyone. There will be many situations where you won't have food, where you won't have water, where you'll face anxiety. Remember this thing, it is very normal. It is like a competition atmosphere. You will definitely feel all these emotions. So I used to always do this. After every interview, I used to call my parents. I used to talk to my friends. I used to take those 5 to 10 minutes break where I just shared what I felt in the entire interview. This helps to calm you down. This helps to calm down your nerves. When you realize कि जो मुझे फेस हो रहा है वो सबको फेस हो रहा है. Because your parents will obviously know ना कि आपको क्या फील हुआ है. This helps a lot because I've seen people who get a lot nervous in campus. Sometimes because of the competition, sometimes because they didn't get shortlisted at a particular event or a position. So it is very important to understand that it is very normal and you need to talk to people. And again, right, the last point and the most important point, you have to be well presentable. Ironed clothes, blazer, these are not something that look fancy, but these show confidence. ये confidence दिखाती है. When a
Perfect.
candidate is wearing a blazer, is wearing a tie, is neatly
Mhm.
haired, is groomed properly, that shows your confidence.
Mhm.
This is very important because आप अगर उस रोल को लेकर सीरियस नहीं हो ना, वो इंटरव्यूअर भी आपको लेकर सीरियस नहीं है.
Perfect.
Because remember, you are a qualified chartered accountant and you're applying for a particular position in a company that is limited. You have to show
Mhm.
them that you actually deserve this even before you speak a word. This is
Mhm.
what I say aura. The aura points which people talk about. This is very important these days. So remember, you always take care of this. And bonus tip from my end, here it is. So what I used to always do, I used to carry a sheet of paper. जो basic questions होते हैं ना, strength, weakness,
Like,
tell me about your,
yes.
या company के
Yes.
introduction. I used to write it in small letters in that entire sheet. Now
Perfect.
this sheet was always in my pocket.
Mhm.
After I go to any interview, I will just glance through it. After I come from every interview, I will just glance through it. When I
Mhm.
go to the interview, I used to glance to see कि मुझे क्या क्या बोलना है. और जब बाहर आता था,
Mhm.
I used to see कि मैं क्या क्या बोल पाया और क्या क्या नहीं बोल
Mhm.
पाया, so that
Mhm.
next interview में उसको बोल पाऊँ. This is something called as recall and you revise again and again. This is where I think ये सबने किया है, but हम भूल जाते हैं कि interviews is also somewhat like a competition where you have to do all these things to stay ahead. So this is something that I always, and this one sheet can have anything you want to. I still remember I had when I had got the shortlist, मैंने सब कंपनीज के बारे में जो 3 लाइन बोलते हैं ना कि मुझे कंपनीज के बारे में क्या पता है, वो मैंने उसको शीट पे लिख दिया था कैजुअली. तो वो
Mhm.
शीट मेरे पास जब भी थी, मैं जो कंपनी के लिए चाहता था स्ट्रीट, ओके ना, एग्जांपल आई एम गोइंग फॉर आईसीआईसीआई बैंक, ओके
Mhm.
आईसीआईसीआई के बारे में मुझे ये 4 चीज जाननी है और मुझे पता है. सो दिस हेल्प्स
Correct.
टू रिवाइज बिकॉज इतना इन्फॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड होगा, इतनी एंजाइटी होगी, आप चीजें भूल जाओगे. इट इज वेरी
Mhm.
नॉर्मल टू फॉरगेट इन अ कैंपस इंटरव्यू. सो दिस शीट ऑफ पेपर, इसमें
Mhm.
इसको आप 4 पार्ट में डिवाइड कर सकते हो और इसको ऐसे आपके 2 साइड्स मिलेंगे, तो 8 साइड्स हो सकती है. वन में यू
Mhm.
कैन राइट अबाउट द बेसिक क्वेश्चंस जिसके बारे में आपको आना चाहिए और आपको याद रहना चाहिए. द अदर कैन हैव अ लिस्ट ऑफ द कंपनी प्रोफाइल्स. What profile? What do you think about it? The third thing can be about hype, can be about the company. What does the company do? Fourth thing can be about other questions that you have to ask. There is always a question at the end of the interview. Do you have any questions
Question
for
for
us?
us.
So I
Yes.
used to have these questions mentioned. That I used to always ask, sir, what could you think that could have been better from my end? Or like,
Very
sir,
good.
I seen again.
Excellent.
This is very basic. You can note that the interviewer is in the company from XYZ period through LinkedIn. I said, sir, you've been in this company for 20 years. What has kept you going, sir? What is the fire that you bring to the table every day?
क्या
The
बात
interviewer
है.
feels so good that okay, this person knows. Firstly, he's researched well, and I've been in this company for 18 years. Second, he's asking me about my experience. That means he's very well aware of how things will go ahead. And the last question I used to always ask, sir, if I get this job, what do you expect from me?
Perfect. What a
And they
question.
always answer this question, and they
What a
always used to
question.
answer, okay, Smith, we expect these skills to be brought. Thank you, sir. I acknowledge it, and I'll make sure that I'll well prepared for these skills when I come to the job. This gives the interview so much confidence that the candidate is also wanting to know what is to be done to get into the job, even after giving the interview. This creates a positive impact. So these questions is to write it on that sheet. So this is called the cheat sheet. Have it folded into 4 5 parts and put it in your pocket. Make sure whenever you want to go to the interview, revise
Hmm.
it and then go for it. Well, these are very important things. Lastly, I think a few tips, I think from our end, I think from me as well as you and your end, Chandan sir. I think we've been through campus. Just to share my experience, I still remember the way I'm getting sweat drops now. That was the actual situation in the campus as well. I still remember when I was appearing for one of the banks, I wouldn't want to name it. Uh, there were 120 candidates, only 20 of them got selected after the GD round, and it
Oh,
was a
okay.
big surprise for everyone because understand one thing, 120 people and just 20 making it, that is so
Hmm.
less a ratio, which is I think which is even less
16%,
than
15, 16%.
yeah,
My
exactly,
God.
less than 20%, right? And
Yeah.
but the entire experience humbled everyone. We realized a lot of things. So there can be these brutal experience as well, but then there
Hmm.
was also a company which was open and there was no one, so I gave the off-campus walk-in interview there as well, and I got the
Okay.
HR email ID from there as well. So that helped
Nice.
me understand, and that helped me connect to her afterwards as well. So these experiences help a lot, is what I can believe. And lastly, a few tips: you have to be confident. Campus is all about confidence. Nervous, I understand everyone gets that anxiety, मुझे भी होती है, but confidence रहना जरूरी है. जब इतनी सारी brutal चीजें होगी, you have to be confident that if I've come here, I will get that one company that I want out of 20 30 companies that are present here. And if not, life is big, opportunities are big. There is something called as off campus. We will touch upon that as well. There is called a CNP program that we already have, and we have candidates who appear through that and who actually get that off campus interview as well. We'll focus on that. But again, it is very important to know that this is not the end. For people who don't get selected, I know, I think this video will go out. There will be a few people who would have got a job through campus. Some people who didn't get job and they're nervous. Just to tell you, Chandan, the entire CNP team is there for you. Even I'm there for you. And we'll make sure that you get placed in the best companies off campus. We are working for it and we'll make sure that happens. And lastly, it is very important to know you have to prepare for it like a CA exam. I know this sounds
Perfect.
very brutal, sir.
Great advice.
अभी तो
Great
एग्जाम
advice.
क्लियर किए सर, 6 एग्जाम दिए.
Great
But this is
advice.
one more exam in your life, and this is just one of those exams that will keep coming to you again and again.
Again and
Life,
again.
I always say this, when you become a chartered accountant, life doesn't get easy, just the struggles change. You're not studying for a paper, you are studying for life now. You're studying for your journey, you're studying for different things. Struggle never stops. So remember this thing, prepare to your best, and I believe people will get placed campus. And if not, off campus CNP program, we are there for you. Ankush Chirimar classes is always there for you. Thank you so much, Chandan.
वाह 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 स्मिथ, आई थिंक बहुत ही ज्यादा अच्छे एडवाइजेस दिए आपने. आई थिंक जिसने ये सुना होगा ना आराम से, ही मतलब उसने पूरा शायद एक कैंपस का ना माइंड में ही एक लगा लिया होगा कि यार ओके दिस इज हाउ द नेक्स्ट 5 days शुड लुक लाइक टू मी. एंड विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट द फैक्ट दैट यू टच्ड कि यार आप फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हो, आप इरिटेट हो जाते हो जब आप इतने लोगों को एक साथ देखते हो, एंड दैट दैट बिकम्स
Yes,
रियली चैलेंजिंग, जस्ट लाइक
it's very
अनदर
normal.
फाइनल एग्जाम्स. परफेक्ट. एंड मुझे
Yes,
ये आई थिंक आई वांट टू ऐड दिस थिंग. ऐसा बहुत बार होगा कि आपको नहीं समझ में आएगा. सो इन कैंपस व्हाट दे डू इज दे वुड एक्सपेक्ट अ रिप्लाई इन जस्ट 2 hours. दिस हैज हैपेंड विद मी इन वन ऑफ द
very
कंपनीज
brutal.
दैट आई अपीयर्ड. उन्होंने बोला कि भाई 2 घंटे में हाँ बोलो या ना बोलो. अब वो कैंडिडेट बेचारा प्रेशर में रहता है, उसको दिखता है कि अरे यार क्या होगा, मेरा 2 दिन में नहीं हुआ, अब आने वाले 2 दिन में होगा नहीं, और वो डर के मारे वो ना या हाँ बोल देता है. एंड देन वंस ही एक्सेप्ट्स, एंड देन देर इज this replication or penalty, I would say, of some amount. I'm not sure. I think it has to be 5,000. And then, things go in and around. So I think what is important is to realize that even it is delayed, that's okay. I think off campus is still a very good option. I think all of us at Career Navigator program, all your mentors are placed off campus. Smith, sir, me, everyone out there. So don't have to panic. You have to be at your absolute best. And as rightly said by Smith, sir, कि भाई it is just another CA final exams. आपको इससे पहले मॉक भी देना है, आपको एनालाइज भी करना है. आई थिंक स्मिथ, हाउ मेनी इंटरव्यूज डिड यू अपीयर बिफोर दिस टू गेट फाइनली
20 to
प्रोजेक्ट?
20 to 25 interviews, Chandan.
20 to 25,
20
एंड
to
आई कैन
25.
प्रिसाइजली रिमेंबर 17 मैंने दिए थे. वो हर दिन आके स्मिथ और मैं ऐसे बैठते नहीं थे, हम जॉट डाउन करते थे कि अच्छा मैंने यहाँ पे ये बोला तो क्यों बोला, यहाँ पे ये अवॉइड हो सकता था, यहाँ पे ये. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू आर क्वेश्चन एंड व्हेन यू आंसर, उस आंसर में ही आपका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है in interviews. So you have to be very cautious with the kind of words and technical words that you are using. Thank
And
you so
give as
much.
many
Yes,
interviews you can. I think this is very
yes.
important to know. Give as many, even in campus, if there is a walk-in interview for a company, even where you don't want to go, go for it. Sit
Go
for it.
for
You'll
it,
get
right?
something and come out different.
Right,
That
and
is
in fact,
important.
go and appear for interviews in CA firms as well. Because the kind of
Please.
dealing that this CA firms do, no, they would company शायद इतना कभी कर ही नहीं पाएगी, and that is very important. So yeah, I mean that was a great insight, Smith sir. And if anything that you want to add before we wrap up this session and get going.
Must just go there, enjoy, and I think it's a journey. जितना ज़्यादा network करोगे, जितना ज़्यादा connections बनाओगे, that will definitely help ahead in life as well, not for job. I think I know Chandan, I know other people just through these opportunities only. So make sure you have a smile when you apply through the campus and remember these tips, write it down, and make sure you keep it in your mind when you go there. Thank you so much, sir.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Say Smith Jain sir, for enlightening us on the campus. एक चीज याद रखना, इम्पोर्टेंट इज टू स्टार्ट. वो फिर स्टार्ट कैसा भी हो, जरूरी है आप स्विमिंग पूल में जाओ और स्विमिंग सीखो. बाहर खड़े रहने से आप स्विमिंग नहीं सीख सकते. डोंट गेट योरसेल्फ इन टू मच प्रेशर. ऑफ कैंपस नाम की चीज एग्जिस्ट करती है, जिसपे भी हम अगला सेशन लेकर आने वाले हैं. स्मिथ सर ही होंगे हमारे स्पीकर इंडीड, एंड आई एम
Thank you.
वेरी श्योर आपको बहुत ज्यादा चीजें समझ में आएगी, ताकि आप प्रेशर ना लो. ठीक है, कैंपस इज जस्ट अनदर फेज एंड यू हैव टू एंजॉय टू द फुलेस्ट. ठीक है जी. थैंक यू सो मच सी स्मिथ जैन सर फॉर एनलाइटिंग अस. एंड आई रियली होप कि सबका कैंपस बहुत अच्छा जाए, और अगर जस्ट इन केस थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हो भी जाए, डोंट वरी, वी आर राइट हियर हैविंग योर बैक थ्रो करियर नेविगेटर प्रोग्राम, एंड ऑफ कोर्स टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल. थैंक यू स्मिथ जैन सर. हैव अ ग्रेट डे.
Thank you.
थैंक
Thank you so much. Thank you so
थैंक
much.
यू सो मच.